MeTV 24 Meridian proudly presents your favorite way to start the day. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace. And better late than never is the moral of this story.
It's been some like craziness going on trying to get the thing ready.
And I wish I could tell you why, but I have no idea. It just had some major technical difficulties that made no
It was
sense.
being difficult this morning, for sure. Yes.
Yeah, and I watched how it was fixed, and I couldn't tell you what just went down.
Me either. I said, I'm just so glad that somebody knows how to do it, because
It's all over the place. It's just like a ghost came in and visited with us there for a little while and changed a few things. But
I think maybe you got something going on.
yeah, I do.
I think somebody's,
It's a haint, as they used to say.
Yeah.
But we're sorry for the late delay start this morning, and off we go into this.
Yes.
Good morning to everyone. I hope your day is going well for you. It's going to be one of the hottest days that we've had so far in 2021. And let's pull this up real quick and look at this, and well, we're just going to find out if anything else is broke together. Let's hope not.
It's just going to be a learning process.
There we go. It is working. This is the heat that we're expecting today. If you'll notice the Meridian area here, we could get between 105 to 110. You get to Jackson, you're going to get between 110 and 115. And then you get to the Mississippi Delta, it's going to be 110 to 115. Now, we've already seen earlier this week back over here around Vicksburg, you got to 116 one day. So Katie, hold the door, I guess, or Katie, bar the door is the old saying. It's going to be the worst you've seen. As we step across that state line, look at this. Alabama, Tuscaloosa 105, 104 in Birmingham, and all this area here right up through Livingston and Geiger, Alabama, y'all expect 105 at least today. It's going to be warm. So it's no relief in store for us. And as we look at this 7-day forecast, let's look at this. Here we are on this as we start this day. The temperature 97 to 98, but again, 105 to 110 right here. Tomorrow, 99.
Goodness.
Now, this is our best chance, and I'm leaving this. The National Weather Service is not calling for any chance of rain. My system says there is that 10% chance of rain, so I don't want you to think if you get a little sprinkle somewhere today that it was all a lie. There is a smidgen, and I mean smidgen of a chance, but most likely it's just going to be hot and sunny, so be prepared for this.
I was expecting yesterday for for it to really pour down. It didn't. So I don't know.
There were some areas that did. But,
like in where we were, I guess it just didn't. But it's pretty out there right now.
I saw, before all of my mishaps started this morning, I did see fog early this morning.
Oh, yeah.
But did you encounter any coming in?
No, I didn't see any fog. I mean, it's just pretty. It's sun shining right now. And
one of those days where you take a deep breath and it's really great to be alive. What was that old Travis Tritt song, It's a Great Day to Be Alive? Yeah. You wake up some days and you just feel that. And boy.
I know. I mean, you just kind of take things for granted sometimes.
You do.
I feel like I'm 100 miles an hour everywhere I go. I don't have a chance to sometimes stop and smell the roses.
Yeah. And I like smelling roses someday.
Me too.
And since you brought that up, I wanted to slide down here on my Facebook page and share this this morning as we look at this.
It breaks my heart.
This is beyond sad. This is David Talley. I think everybody knew David.
Yes.
Any event there was, he was there making just like he done there. Little things for kids.
I mean, he always was so upbeat and had a smile on his face and stuff, and he enjoyed that. I mean, you could tell he enjoyed making kids smile.
And as long as I can remember, and I've been in radio 25, okay, maybe a little longer than that, 30, somewhere along in there. I can't remember an event that I've ever been to that involved kids that he was not there making smiles.
Right. And even we used to go to CC's Pizza and eat sometimes, and he would be there doing the balloon animals for the kids, and he'd just walk up to your table and, would you like a balloon animal or, I mean, he was just so sweet.
We had someone ask what happened, and this is the best that I know how to describe. The traffic jam that was in Meridian yesterday morning trying to get in. somewhere around 2:30 a.m., an 18-wheeler had a wreck and it overturned, and the truck was in the ditch, but the trailer was in the middle of I-20. David comes along in the dark around 2:30 in the morning, somewhere along in there, did not see the trailer and hit the 18-wheeler trailer that was in the highway. I don't know much past that. Mm-hmm. I would assume, and this is pure assumption, that he had probably maybe even been at the Neshoba County Fair somewhere working, doing what he does and traveling after that home for those wee hours of the morning.
Yeah, we don't know.
And, and that's just
exactly
a guess on that. But he did strike the trailer because you couldn't see it in the middle of the interstate, and it took his life. Our condolences to his family. And, if you go back and you look at his Facebook page, he had lunch with his daughter on Monday afternoon. Mm-hmm. It breaks my heart.
It breaks my heart, too. I mean, it just seems like, some of the best people.
It is.
Stuff like that happens to some of the best people. And it does break your heart. I mean, it makes you feel for their families and their friends and anybody that they touch their lives, It's a big loss.
And you always follow this up with, and it's so true, before you walk out that door, you better make sure you hug somebody, because you don't know what your next 10 minutes are going to be.
You sure don't.
It's God's plan sometimes, and you don't understand them, and sometimes you don't like the way God handles situations. But our condolences to his family, hearts, prayers, that whole 9 yards there, and may y'all be blessed during this time. Woo! That'll bring a tear to a glass eye thinking about that one.
I know it will. I mean, it does. It breaks my heart. I just can't help but tear up, because it just can't even imagine.
LaWanda Grantham said that her grandson just loved him to death. So that's a recap of that. As we've just started today off, which is, it's just been bad news, I think, from the word go.
I mean, it's just like, we got all this bad news with stuff like this, and got to, deal with the virus stuff. I mean, it's just awful. I mean, I don't know.
On a brighter note, last night at the Neshoba County Fair, Trace Atkins was there, and from all accounts, I was not there, but boy, the pictures of everybody that enjoyed the show. Trace is one of us. One of the few people, we had him in Meridian umpteen dozen years ago. He was the main act, brought Trace in. Great show. But he wears a size, I don't remember, it was 14 or 16 shoe. It's about yay long. And I'd talked on the mic, and then he talked, and I come out, and I could not stand on my tiptoes and reach it. That boy's big.
Yeah.
He's tall. I'm 6 foot. He's 6'4", 5 or something.
But he really, I remember when he was here years ago, and I remember somebody telling me that he said that he loved it there.
Oh, he does.
And he wanted to come back and couldn't wait to come back or whatever. So
yeah, he just one of us. He's lost his home a couple years ago, maybe a little along there to a fire. He's been shot by an ex-wife. She tried to take him out. And he,
I didn't know that.
He never pressed charges on her.
Really?
He said maybe I deserved it, but she shot him right there at the kitchen table. Boom.
At the kitchen table?
Yeah, they were in an argument, and she whooped up on him there. And he was.
Who keeps the gun at the kitchen table?
He survived. I have a really close friend that knew Trace, that went to high school with Trace. And I want to say they were going to high school that morning and were in a bad wreck together.
Really?
And walked away from that. This man's a testimony of close calls. God has a little something more for him. He ain't over yet. So I know everybody at the fair loves him. Tonight, I'm not as familiar with this. This is a newcomer to country music, but as you go to the Neshoba County Fair website, Jordan Davis is going to be there tonight performing.
Okay.
So, and again, he comes from Shreveport, Louisiana. I do know that much about him. So that's going to be happening at the fair tonight. Hope you enjoy that.
Right. Take you plenty of water.
It will be hard to ever surpass the crowd that showed up for Hardy this week. Yeah. Whoa. That was unreal. It's so good for a hometown boy to make it nationally, and he has done that. So congratulations to that. This is Thursday?
It is Thursday.
Can you believe that?
I'm so out of sorts because I missed Monday and Tuesday. So
you've been kind of gone for almost a week there with your life.
I'm not used to taking time off. I really am not. anybody that knows me knows that I just don't take a lot of time off work. I mean, I'm usually working doing something. So.
Nearly flipped her brand new camper.
Oh, goodness gracious. Oof.
And that's no laughing matter.
That was not a laughing matter at the moment. It was definitely, I was panicking at the moment. So thank goodness that worked out.
Yeah, the things that we get ourselves into in life, there's sometimes.
It just got stuck in the ditch.
Yeah.
The wheels and and I was like, oh,
right.
Gosh, yeah.
So hang in there. Never know what today's going to bring. We hope it's it's good. Let's take a minute and back out and talk about our friend Chet Parker. Who is Chet? Well, Chet is probably the best there is in town when it comes to paint and body work. Mm-hmm. He's one of those that's going to do the job right. He stands behind what he does. And in the beginning, you don't have to worry because it's going to be handled. Now, even if it's down to just getting your rental car taken care of, they do all of that. They handle all of the paperwork for you, process it. Dylan Ray was involved in a wreck when he was graduating high school. Somebody hit him when he left school and knocked him off, ripped both sides of the truck off. And honestly, you could not tell that truck had ever been touched. It was beautiful. Probably looked better than it did before it went to Chet's.
Yeah, they do a great job for sure.
This is just a few examples of what they do here. If you want to take the worry out, even down to these aluminum bed on these Fords that put them back right, they're located in Center Hill. You're not going to find any better. Honesty, that's what matters in life, and that's what you get from Chet's Paint and Body. Whatever the reason, this is their paint and body shop. They're going to stand behind their work and make sure that it's taken care of. Now, this is the office. You can drop in anytime. You can call them. They'll process all of this for you. All the insurance companies know Chet. They know he does fantastic work. See them today. Again, they're located in Center Hill, 737-2961. If you want your car treated just like it's their own, that's where you go.
I was leaving home with a car full of my friends when suddenly we were thrust off of the road. A direct hit from behind. We were involved in a car accident.
I'm Mississippi Attorney Richard Schwartz. I'm proud to represent the people of the great state I call home.
I'm JC from Starkville, Mississippi, and it took one call and that was all. I called my Mississippi attorney Richard Schwartz and he got me $200,000.
If you need me, Mississippi, remember, one call, that's all.
And we welcome Florence, South Carolina watching this morning. We appreciate that. Ray Gafford up visiting with those folks there this morning there.
Yes.
Let's see. Got somebody watching from Union.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. We're just glancing over everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to bring this up about the heat because somebody brought this up. Your pets, they cannot speak for themselves. So make sure if you don't let them come in that utility room and cool out with a little air conditioner, that you keep plenty of water for them out there because it's tough, especially if they're on a chain. Y'all know what I mean.
Right.
Pups need help also, kitty cats as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have many pets.
It's a zoo.
We have one that is very not so smart right now. Keeps getting he's on a runner. He's under the shade tree if he'll stay there, but he keeps getting wrapped around this other tree.
Well, you would too if you thought an old girl was in heat next door. He just can't help it.
Yeah,
it's a man
that's
thing.
a wonderful thing that our female lab is, at the moment we're having to deal with. I
opened up the back.
Get spent trying to secure her pen, and it's just a mess. I told my husband this morning, I'm so tired. I love my animals, but I'm tired. I need a break.
It's just nothing quite like that situation.
I know.
I opened the door for Sophie yesterday afternoon. She looked at me like, have you lost your mind? Do you see how thick my hair is? You think I'm going out there?
I know.
And she just looked at me, and she went back and sat on the couch.
We have my husband built a box to put this, a wooden box to put this fan in. The dog, they have a fan blowing on them. They have they have a pool with water in it to get in. We're prepared for the heat, but it's just a job when you got all these animals,
It is.
It's like a mini zoo at my house.
One of the news stories that I watched on this, and we always say, especially with children, keep tabs on your kids. Mm-hmm. But a missing Texas girl, she was 15. She was rescued from a rental home in Florida where she was held captive by an armed felon. Now, this is where I don't get it as being a parent. Mm-hmm. She tells her mom and dad she's going on a church mission. Mm-hmm. Or church, you know how they have the summer programs?
Yeah.
Now, would you not as a parent drive your child to the church to drop them off with everybody else, hug next, talk to whoever the sponsor is?
I'd be calling, going, is there a church trip?
Yeah. What she does
What's your number?
She tells the parents that there is one. Well, there's not one. She goes and buys an airplane ticket and goes and meets this guy who is above age online, and he's a convicted felon. And her parents had no clue. And then after they hadn't heard from her in 3 days, they start looking. And
That's scary. I mean, that's, when my kids, now my older kids, they, one of my daughters, she don't want to be on Life 360, but, and I don't pay her cell phone bill anymore. So
you can't force her.
Right. But when I did, and I had them on Life 360 or, stuff wasn't going like I thought it should.
Right.
The data, was turned off. I mean, you didn't get, so you couldn't do a lot of
Right.
stuff. But anyway, yeah, I was one of those parents that I always tried to check on stuff,
That's
You
just
can't check too much when you got teenagers.
But that is one of the most bold-faced lies of
Right.
getting on a plane and leaving the town that you live in to your parents. That's the child. But she's okay.
Thank goodness she's okay. Yeah.
Hopefully,
But, some young adults, I mean, and teenagers and stuff, I mean, they just have no fear sometimes. They think, it happens in the news and it happens in all these other big cities and it happens elsewhere. It's not going to happen to me, and it will. It will happen to you in a heartbeat.
I don't. Is it brazen? Is that the word? I would have
Yeah.
never thought about telling my parents that kind of lie and
Oh,
pulling that
yeah.
off.
I mean,
Sneaking to the movies would have been one thing, but that would be. Ooh.
yeah. I didn't play when it come to stuff like that with my kids. You can ask them. I mean, anybody can ask them. I mean, like I had one sneak out one time in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And I was waiting on her when she come home, and I was not happy at all. And I was like, when I found out where she was at, I was like, get in the car. She said, what? It's 4:00 in the morning. Get in the car. I get everybody up, get them in the car. And I'm like, come on, we going.
I can just see you in them flip-flops now, them old house
I
shoes.
was mad. Anyway, but yeah.
We welcome Dwayne Chandler watching us from Saudi Arabia this morning. We appreciate that. That's a long
yes.
way away from here. I hope all is good there. And I bet it is hot there.
Yeah.
If you know the temperature, tell me
goodness,
that.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Yeah, we're sitting here.
They have like dust storms and stuff in areas like that.
Yeah, we complain about 105 to 110. There's no telling what it is there.
Yeah, I know.
Boy.
Yes.
So that's some source. Now, do y'all remember when this went down? There's more to this story than is making the eye in the public. The governor, Gretchen Whitmore, you know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
All right. You remember there was a plot to kidnap her.
Uh-huh.
Well, as it turns out, all these people that were arrested had something to do with the FBI. Either they were informants of the FBI or maybe they were ex-FBI. It is a lot more going on here than meets the eye.
Yeah, I question a lot of things when it comes to stuff like that. I mean, I really do. I'm one of those that kind of digs into information.
She's the governor of Michigan, and they tried to say it was like a coup.
Yeah.
Where these people had been training in these. I really got to dig into it, but that's a headline this morning.
Oh, yeah.
There's more to the story than we got there. It was just some guys in camo running around in the woods playing bang, bang, bang. These people, this was, I don't know.
Well, I was watching a story the other night, and if you haven't looked it up, and I don't know how much, as we would say in the South, does it hold water? I don't know,
Yeah.
But it was the CEO of Overstock.com. He's a former CEO now. He resigned because it was some mess going on where he was seeing a Russian spy or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, you have to look that up. Just look up CEO of Overstock.com. Gives testimony or whatever. And it's talking about some political stuff, how the FBI was involved in trying to frame some. I don't know.
It's out there.
We don't know if it's true or not, but look it up because it really does kind of sound
fishy.
like it
might
could be. So,
might be the word for that. Yeah, and now this is a neat little story. I put this in the headlines this morning. Now, as we've all seen these signs across America, we'll give you a $500 sign-in bonus. We'll give you $1,000 to sign on, and I think some of it's been up to like $1,500 as you come to work for us, we'll give you this. Walmart takes it to a new level today as they come out with this, and if you are trying to get through college, this would be neat. They to every employee now they're offering free college tuition. 100% they were.
Oh, that's great.
Tuition and books. Normally they'll say tuition and leave out that word
Right,
books.
because the books you would not. I mean, and a lot of people think, oh, that's it. Don't get me wrong, free tuition is a wonderful thing.
Correct.
But books are very expensive. You
Yeah.
know, if you have to buy the books, they're very expensive.
I'm going to say that my son might have been cheap and just borrowed some books because he
Look, there ain't nothing wrong with
he did
borrowing
what he
books.
had to do.
The bad thing is though, when they change the books so often, you know, that sometimes if you borrow one, it's kind of obsolete.
Yeah,
you know?
not up to date.
Right, and they go to these ebooks where you
Yeah.
gotta, you know, so.
So, but that is, I have to say, a pat on the back for Walmart for doing that because
Yes.
employees do need help these days. That's
Oh,
an
yeah.
expense.
It's a wonderful thing. And too, there's a lot of like adults that want to go back to school.
Yeah.
So that would be great.
Yeah, I'm not one of them.
Yeah. I would love, if I had time, I would love to go back and do.
I went over to the University of
did go
Alabama.
back.
It took 3 years. I went through their safety, and I took that class, and I graduated in the safety program to where you're a safety officer. I think I was 42, 43, 44. You don't know how bad it is sitting in a classroom
Really?
at 44 years old, and you look around, everybody's a lot younger than you.
Oh,
and-
I was the oldest one. I went back in, I think it was 07
Yeah.
that I went back. And I was the oldest one in there. You know, but I did really good. I mean, I thought if I could have done this good when I was in high school, you know, I might have graduated with honors. Who knows? But I did do good.
you applied yourself.
I did. I applied myself because I knew that, you know, had matured and, you know, things meant more to me. As
And
an
I
adult.
did get in trouble in college because who would have known this?
What?
In taking notes where they give you, okay, this could possibly be on a test, and they start going over stuff. So I was trying to I can't write fast. And so I figured out, well, just take a picture of it. I can go back and look at my pictures. So I started, and I was told that you technically cannot do that. That is a form of cheating. And
Really?
I wouldn't have known that.
Well, we had people with tape recorders that would record, like when our teacher was giving, you know, notes and stuff, and she was speaking, they would record her. But, you know, you always got that one student in class that every time they're going to raise their hand, you know.
Yeah, oh, yeah, the know-all student.
Oh, yeah. And if you ask them one question, like even in high school, I can remember going, you know, and you know they're smart. They're the smartest ones in there, though. You know?
Right.
And you're like, do you have like the answer to number one? Not on a test. I'm talking about like homework. Did you
Right.
get number one? And they're like, I don't know. You're like, you know.
Share the wealth.
Yeah. But anyway. But yeah, I had a good time when I went back. It was hard. I mean, it was very hard. But
LaWanda said that she went back to college and graduated nursing at 50. Thumbs up there.
that's great. I went to take classes towards the nursing program when I went back. And I took my AMPs. I did them, and I did AMP 1 in, I think it was 2 weeks. I did a summer thing. It was the fast-paced thing. I don't think I'd ever do that again.
I've always heard that those online classes, you might not want that because there is no
Well, this was the actual,
compassion.
you go to class. It wasn't
Oh,
online.
it was a 2-week one.
I went from, I think, 8 in the morning to, I think it was 4 every day for 2 weeks. Every day. So, yeah.
Our next subject is this morning, who's got the biggest potty mouth in America? And the award goes to the chick off of Yellowstone. And let me show you this picture here. I did not know this until I was fiddling around this week, and I saw this and I thought, ain't no way. But it is a way. It is true. This is Little Joe's, Michael Landon's daughter. If you have watched Yellowstone, the girl that dips tobacco, cusses, and chases all the men in the bunkhouse. And she gets the potty mouth across America today. But that is Michael Landon's daughter.
I don't think, I mean, she might have his nose or something, but.
Well, I mean, with that hair, I couldn't even look at her face. I mean, I've never, because she's just so crude as a character.
Rough.
Yeah, and I don't look at that as being
Ladylike.
right. And so it never even crossed, because, you know, all the men,
Classy.
she'd go hitting on the men in there and they'd all run.
Uh-huh.
And she could hurt you. But she's got to be a great actress because she convinced me that she was that bad.
She's a little over the top with the country accent,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Like she needs some tobacco and a
Yeah.
towel.
Tammy Fleming said, no, Richard Pryor has the potty mouth in America.
He
But
did. He
but
did have
at the time,
pretty
yeah.
bad mouth.
Yeah, there's a few more out there also that.
He was funny though, but he had a bad mouth.
Yeah. The funniest thing I ever heard that Eddie Murphy talk about, he said, man, if you ever find yourself in New York City and you fisting get robbed, and he said, you got a gold chain, he said, take it out and put it over your lip and go, achoo. And he said, they'll run. He said, when the moonlight hits that, they'll leave you alone. That was funny. As we go back in history on this date, who remembers it? And it was so shocking when he passed away. At the time, this was a time in news to where you really trusted the news guy on television, like Walter Cronkite and people like this. But Peter Jennings was born on this date. And if you remember, Peter died of cancer back in 2005.
Yeah, I do remember that. I couldn't believe it was 2005 though.
That has been, what, 16 years?
A long time ago. Goodness. He was a good reporter though.
Yeah.
I did like to listen.
I want to say he had no high school maybe high school was it, maybe.
Yeah.
But self-taught man.
I hate to say gone are the days of the good news reporting, but it's kind of like,
No, I think so.
yeah, it's hard to find people who are unbiased and like not one-sided.
Even like I like Dan Bonagino, but it's not
Right.
a guy that's not biased. He has his opinions and he sticks. Everybody's got one side of the fence or the other nowadays. It's not down the middle. This is really what happened.
Yeah.
You figure it out for yourself. Nowadays, it's let me tell you how to think.
Right.
I don't like that.
Even, I noticed that even some of the, I'm sorry, goodness, I'm still battling with this mess. But even like the reporters who are asking questions to, say people,
In the crowd.
right there, you can, and if the person answering like answers a reasonable, answer, they're still gonna like instead of asking a neutral type question, they're leaning to the left or they're,
Leaning to the right, however you want to word it.
Yeah, or leaning to the right. I mean, yeah, you can't get, neutral type questions about stuff. So
A lot of people are chiming in this morning on our feed here of who had the biggest potty mouth in America. George Carlin is thrown up here.
Yeah.
Angela says Howard Stern has the big potty mouth. Yeah, that was pretty bad there too. Joan Rivers is up there. She had a.
Who was the other guy? What was that guy? What was that Sam Kinison guy? Didn't he have a bad mouth? Sam Kinison.
I know. I
He
can.
was a. I
don't remember any of his
I think he
acts.
had a pretty bad mouth. He passed away though.
I know who you're talking about now. It
yeah.
took me a second. Had a ponytail, I
Yeah.
think, in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a bunch of stuff like that. Let's see. 1958, NASA was created. I would have thought NASA, just in my mind, had been around longer, but
I would think so too. Yeah.
I guess it was 69, 11 years later before we put somebody on the moon. So maybe not so much there. Interesting there. Also having a birthday today, and I've met this, you cannot imagine in person, you see somebody on TV and you think, well, they look kind of average. I had dinner with this lady one night and I was like, oh my gosh, somebody call somebody's grandma. She needs some black-eyed peas and some cornbread quick.
Oh, really?
The
She's tiny.
skinniest. I mean, skinny. Gosh, she needs to eat. Martina McBride was born on this day back in 1966.
I bet she's probably, that was probably a long time ago, right?
Oh, well, probably 15. She may have plumped up since then, is what
Probably
you're saying.
with age, I'm sure she's packed a few extra pounds.
But shocked how
she's still
I was.
beautiful, though. I mean, she's a beautiful lady. She's got the prettiest blue eyes. I mean,
And I can't see the other side of this, but they say television puts 10 to 15 pounds on you. So we probably looking pretty chunky to you this morning.
yeah, that's what's happened to me.
It's television.
I'm stick skinny.
It's skinny, and it's the way it looks on television.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Y'all
cute.
wouldn't know me if you saw me.
Yeah.
Speaking.
Bill
I'm
said, but there are people that you really don't recognize.
I know, yeah. Well, the thing too is so many people put these filters on their pictures now. And I'm not saying I'm guilty of putting like the one that kind of blurs your blemishes or something, makes you look like you have a glow, Yeah, that maybe. But there's some that change like
Wrinkles.
yeah, take all the wrinkles out or make their nose look slim or their face look slim or I'm serious.
I bumped into you in Walmart. I know that them pictures ain't real. But here's the reason I don't do it. You know why?
Why?
I don't know how to do it.
Oh, really?
I have no clue how any filter on a picture but I've never taken the time to sit there and study it either. A lot of people get a college degree in that.
I don't know how to do all that. I mean, some people can take pictures on their phone. It'll look like professional photographer. I mean, you can't tell the difference on some people's pictures, but I don't know how to do all that.
I have enough time hitting live in here to get us on the air. Whoa.
I'm doing good to get in the door every morning.
I have just now discovered that there's a typo in our next thing that we're going to show, but that's okay. It was 1968. Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Folsom Prison went number 1 on this date. So there you go. Johnny Cash, that was such a moment for him when they told him he couldn't do it. And he said, I'm going anyway.
Yeah.
And it become probably one of the biggest things that Johnny Cash ever done. Now, throughout history, there have been bad people, people that are murderers, nothing short of, what do you call those people that continuously kill?
Serial killers.
Serial killer. And this was one of them. 1976, Son of Sam. Now, and you go, Son of Sam, and it's weird to get into these minds of people, but it was a guy that lived next door to him, and it had something to do with a dog named Sam, and that's where the guy took his name. Weird. Makes no sense. But they finally caught this guy. He was just walking around New York shooting people. He's still alive. He's still in jail. A vigilante. He just walk up and shoot people. But he done this over the course of a year, and they finally did catch him. He sits in prison today. And that makes you wonder. I've never understood when somebody is convicted of all these crimes, you get capital punishment, and then they sit there another 20 years.
I know. Tax dollars are paying for their, meals and food. While, families are mourning the loss, continuously mourning the loss.
That didn't happen in the Westerns. As we all know, you watch the Western, should the judge find you guilty of whatever they put the gallows up the next morning and handled it. Those days are gone.
Yeah.
Weird. This was, I can still remember. Do you remember the first time you heard the song?
I don't remember the first time I heard it, but I've heard it a million times, it seems like. So.
It's just one of those, the very first time I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, that is like a great song. And still to this day, Randy Travis, 1985, this song was shipped to radio stations. On the other hand, Paul Overstreet and Don Slitz wrote this. Wow.
It was a good song, though, really, it was.
But there's a golden band on the other hand. Whoa. I mean, I'm telling you.
You're the one who would not understand.
That's right. And she probably wouldn't. But
she probably beat you down.
Strong
they
stuff.
They the chickens.
And, and it makes you want, I'm sure that out there in America, songs like this are still written.
Yeah.
They just don't make it to Nashville anymore.
Well, you don't have, like I said yesterday, you don't have a lot of songs that have a whole lot of substance to them.
Right.
They don't tell that story. It's just now some do. There is still some true country, but it's just few and far between those songs are. Most of it's just like repetitive noise.
Yeah. And I don't care where you are, where you're standing. When you hear the words come out of a radio or off your phone, she's acting single, I'm drinking double. Those two lines there paint a picture right out of the gate. You know what's covered. It is strong. Boy, I really like that old Gary Stewart. I was never, this next thing here, I didn't like the original, and I was not sold on the second version of this, but it still went number 1.
That wasn't one of my favorites.
Yeah. Reba went number 1 on this date back in 89 with Kathy's Clown. And originally the Everly Brothers did that back in the 50s. I remember the video. I think Bruce Boxner was in that video, the guy that was in The Gambler with Kenny Rogers, if y'all remember him. And he had a couple detective shows, but that was not my favorite Reba song.
I liked Fancy. I thought that was good.
I'd go back further. I've got Whoever's in New England.
Oh, no, I like that one with her and what was the woman? It's the
Linda Davis.
Yeah, her daughter is the Lady Annabelle.
Yeah.
But that was a good one.
Did you see him? Did you know that?
Yeah.
But Somebody Should Leave.
Yeah.
Which one should it be?
That was a good one too. She had some. All of her songs were really good, but this was not one of my favorites. That Kathy's Clown.
It just didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
And Conway had something similar. But I liked it better. Up on the Tightrope, and I'm Just the Clown. Do y'all remember that?
Goodness.
Make you have the big one. It was so good. I remember as a kid, I was in high school. No, I was. I was in elementary school on this date. And I don't know if they still do this or not, but the whole school watched in each classroom as Prince Charles married Lady Diana. That was I remember that horse and carriage going down through. That's really all I remember.
I do remember that. Yeah.
But 1981.
I know. Time flies by. But, it was so sad when she passed away and, and
the only two people that I can say, now this is just me, y'all may disagree with me, but people that touch the world like she has, her and Jacqueline Kennedy would probably go down as the two ladylike figures in our lifetimes. They're held at different standards than most people.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I just feel like she didn't get a moment's peace when she was alive.
She did not.
It was just like she couldn't catch a break. I mean, you know, I'm not saying she was perfect. None of us are. I mean, but, you know, she went through the divorce or whatever from Charles. And what I think he was was he seeing that Camilla
I would say so.
at the time?
You know, rumors come out now that even the Queen knew about it. She told him, stay married, and if you're going to do that, you just keep it quiet and do that somewhere else. But
Right.
he went forward with that.
Yeah.
And
And she kind of tried to move on with her life. And,
She did.
And still, to me, I think she did things, you know, good things for people and all that, even after that.
Kind-hearted lady
Right.
there. And Gail said that Diana overshadowed everybody. She was pretty strong there. I didn't even realize this because it was such a short marriage.
Yeah.
Quick. But everybody I think knows Kid Rock. He's come through the community. He's done a little hunting and stuff in our area, neck of the woods. But he married Pam Anderson on this date back in 2006. I didn't even know that they wasn't married but 4 months.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it. She was married to some guy named Tommy Lee, and I think most people will remember her from Baywatch.
Yeah.
Those running scenes on the beach.
Yeah. I think Tommy Lee was also married to Heather Locklear.
Oh, was he? She was beautiful. Remember
Yeah.
T.J. Hooker? Do you remember that TV
I
show?
do. I watched that all
And-
the time when I was younger.
And I watched the other day an episode where she was in The Fall Guy. I think that was one of her first shows. She was a pretty lady.
She really was pretty. She was.
And then we started hearing those 911 calls when she...
I know. What's happening too? I think she's had a little work done or something going on. I don't know.
She's had some her fair share of issues here lately. Well, we hope they get better.
Yeah.
It just you never know what people are going through, I guess is what we're trying to say.
That's right. You don't know what they're going through.
I did see this, and I have to agree with the FAA on this. Jeff Bezos, the guy that owns Amazon, that spent all of that money
to go up in
space,
Uh-huh.
which in my opinion, he really didn't go in space. They just got close enough to kind of float around. He wanted to call himself an astronaut. And they said, nope, you're not an astronaut. So they've shot him down, and him thinking that he was a astronaut.
But that lady who went up with them, she was like an older lady.
In the 80s?
She was an astronaut.
Yeah.
And she had always wanted to go up, and this was her chance. So I know
Glad
that
she
was
got
a
to
proud
go.
moment for her, you know. Yeah.
But this is just the beginning of what we're getting ready to see with technology and where it's going to go as it is now opened up to the public or entrepreneurs. Now, I'm still not sure I want to go on that Tesla guy stuff there because everything he touches explodes.
Right. But, you know, all that money that went into that, you know, probably millions and millions of dollars.
I
that
would
went
say
into
more.
that. I mean, you know, let's take care of what's going on the ground.
You know, as you
Put that money towards some good causes, like to get some stuff taken care of on
I'll
the ground.
take that a step further, and I think where we should start with on that is what is spent on presidential elections. Y'all think of the money that is dumped into a bid for presidency, everybody that runs. If you are only allotted to spend X amount of money, to where you wouldn't see this every moment of your waking day, and any extra goes to help a cause.
Well, you know,
You'll
I
never
think-
see that, but
Right. There was a lot of money put into the Democratic, you know, election, the party of the, you know,
I
and
mean,
I feel like that a lot of that money's been spent to do other things even after the election. You know what I'm
Probably,
saying?
but
Like to
also-
fund a lot of groups. And,
But
you
I
know.
think you would be shocked if you go back and just look at the money that was raised on the Republican side. And this goes into senators' races.
Oh, I mean, I know there's money that pours into both sides. I mean,
Right.
I know there is, but
But this seems like there ought to be a cap. And maybe that makes us set. I don't know the answer to this. Maybe that separates us from the rest of the world where you can put as much money as you want. Now, they do have caps on this group can only donate this much, but there's loopholes, and we all know that.
don't you think it's kind of odd though that like Joe Biden did hardly any politicking? I mean, he was never
Four people
seen,
show up.
but all these millions of dollars went into it. You know,
But also in the same breath, they really didn't like the people that did not like Trump.
Oh, I know.
Would spend whatever it took.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, though. But that money, since I feel like, has not just gone towards, the election and stuff. I think it's gone towards funding.
That could have been called Friends of Hillary, because there was a whole bunch of Hillary's fans that didn't like him.
Yeah, well, like all these groups that come in with their.
Would you take
Get-ups
those PAC groups, I guess is what that's called, and those Koch brothers? Whoa.
Yeah.
Boy, they got a lot going on also.
It's a lot going on.
So that's something to think on there. Let's see here. Some other things that are working this morning. As we get our first chance of no rain today, we'd like to invite you by to see our friends at Freeman Tractor. They've got a lot going on. Buttermilk has been leaning against the counter watching the grass grow there as well. They want you to come out and see the complete line of lawnmowers. If it's time for you to get one, this is it. The X-Mark mowers. They've got, of course, the Skags starting as low as $46.99. See those. They're fast. They're great. Air conditioning cab tractors to keep you cool when you still got to do your work. They've got front end loaders. They got any type of attachment that you may be looking for, galvanized where it won't rust. You'll find all of this at Freeman Tractor. Drop in and see them today along with the benchies. They've got 0% for 60 months on certain models. See them about that. Can order these with air conditioning and heatings to 550 to 750s, and just about any part that you may be looking for, from blades, belts, radiators. They've got all of those hard to find parts there at Freeman Tractor. That's Highway 494, you'll find them out in the Cicalina community. Salute, we see y'all there, and they'll get you taken care of.
First 10 days following an accident are crucial. Insurance companies don't wait. They have a staff of adjusters, attorneys, and investigators collecting information that can be used against you.
Call Richard Schwartz today.
And don't forget Sanders Air Conditioning when it becomes hot today and yours is not working. They'll help you out there with that same-day service should your air conditioning break today. They don't want you to sit around and be in a foul mood and be moody.
And they can also come out and check your unit to make sure it's working properly and it's cleaned.
Yeah, it's the thing that makes you have a smile on your face. It's called air conditioning. Sanders Gas, 22nd Avenue today. Give them a call, and they'll help you in any way that they can to make sure that you're cool there. This is Thursday, and as we look at the calendar,
I can't believe
Saturday.
Where'd this month go?
It's over.
It just flew by. I mean,
Watermelons, those days of the July watermelons are coming through. And Saturday's it. We move into August. Is it not next week, but the following week that school starts? Are we 1 week out?
I think it starts on the 6th. I'm not really sure. I think it is. And they have an open house. I hope everything's still a go, with all the COVID stuff. So we'll find out.
I want to say teachers show up to work next week, and then the following week you will have the students headed back to school. And I've posted some stuff about West Lauderdale on our page there if you'd like to know more about that. And if you've got a community announcement dealing with all of this, let us know. We'll post that so you can get your school supplies. You remember taking those trips?
I know. I saw the school supply list was posted, and I needed that because I still have to go get school supplies. That is one of the things I hate to do.
Crayons and all of that.
You're sitting there trying to figure out what you're looking for, and everybody's in the aisle looking for the same thing.
Yep.
You got to try to find out where you go to get it if you can't find it there. So anyway.
Good luck to y'all as we take on a new year. And there is Walt Disney announced late yesterday that masking up. If you come there, that's going to be happening as COVID. And locally, I talked to somebody of like 6 people that I personally know have come down with COVID in the last week.
Yeah, me too. I know it's really a lot of people right now with it. So
wash your hand. And, as we go back and we think about that, just keeping your hand, that's how this stuff spreads. Now, it still may spread through the air and the mask may help, but I do know for sure that what you touch has a lot to do with it. So keep those clean. If you use a buggy.
Right. Yeah, if you use the buggy for sure, wash your hand. I always try to get one of those sanitizing wipes and wipe the handle down real good before I use it.
Right.
And I have taken, I have Clorox wipes in my car, and I'll take a couple of them in with me and wipe the buggy handle before I, get it.
I don't blame you a bit.
Because you don't ever know if they got them available. That's the thing,
You get to the door and they run out.
Right.
But I am truly afraid that we're fixing to see another huge round. And I don't know what the CDC in the end will do. I hope we don't go back into a lockdown again and it tear apart the economy. That's not great, but we are at least getting to work again. So let's keep fingers crossed on that.
Yes.
We're getting some comments on school. Lauderdale County, August 5th and 6th. And then also it says Robin Sullivan said that Neshoba County will start the 6th of August.
Okay.
Union and Neshoba Central will start next week on the 5th. And Central on the 6th is what Christy Belk said. Thank y'all for that information there. And
Yes,
if we
thank
hadn't
y'all.
mentioned your school district, pass that along.
That's right.
Handy information to know.
But get your kids' masks ready because you're probably more than likely they're probably gonna have to have them.
Yeah,
So,
they may not have passed that yet, but I would go ahead and be ahead of the curve.
yeah, I would just have it for sure on hand just to be on the safe side. Mm-hmm.
So, and, they haven't said that we can't gather anymore, but I think it's like a tick-tock.
Right.
I think that is in our future.
I hope it does not come down to that. I really do. But this new variant, I don't know if they can even determine what's the new, what's the old. When I went to the doctor not too long ago, I asked the nurse there, and she said we really don't have the, we don't know, and so I don't know if there's any way to determine that. All I know is there's really no rhyme or reason to how it affects people, because you talk to somebody and they go, yeah, they said I got it, but I have no symptoms. Or they said I got it and, I didn't even know I had it. And, that's the thing. I wish that they made I know there's testing, but the vaccine is free.
Correct.
So why are all the tests not free?
Good question.
Because I think it probably holds a lot of people back from going and getting tested, because it's not in some places like drive-through testing. I think that's free. I think it is, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't
but I've
know.
gone twice to the doctor to get tested, and just they come out to the car and swab me, and it's not free. So,
It gets expensive. Not all
does.
insurances pay for all of
right.
that.
And I know people have to work and get paid to work and stuff, but I don't know what the answer to that is, but I just think if more people could get tested, they would know if they have it or not, whether, rather than say, oh, I got a sinus infection.
Right.
It's just a little cold. Well, you don't know. And then you're walking around everywhere. So, and everybody does that.
Eventually, they'll probably walk up, they'll invent something that's a swab that you automatically take and it says yes or no, kind
Right.
of like your eventually.
I wish there was some kind of over-the-counter swab you could, do.
But it ain't there yet.
If it is, I'm not aware of it, so I might be wrong. But
Mississippi is making national headline news once again, and this comes from Oxford, Mississippi. They had a cop on the police force that was having a fling on the side. The girlfriend gets pregnant, and he killed her. And the family is suing the Oxford Police Department as we look at this. They're suing for $5 million. That's just such a shame for this to happen. Boy, but if you hadn't seen that, this took place back in 2019 when it had originally happened, and all of this is now coming to court and being headlines across America there. But Mississippi back in the news, and it is not good for us.
Mm-hmm. You know what really aggravates me, though? It's an awful thing that this happened. It is a horrible event that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Why have you got to put a white cop? You know what I'm saying? Why do they have to do that?
They made it a race issue, and they
That's
didn't need
what
to.
I'm saying. I don't think they should have made it a race issue. It's a horrible thing that happened.
And that's why I didn't read it that way, because it wasn't necessary to the way they did it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You didn't read it that way. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, why did they have to, it's just,
Because
to me, it's more division,
Well, it's it's an attention grabber.
Right.
And that's what makes people click this, click that.
I know.
grab
It is. It's a horrible thing that happened. The man needs to be,
Yeah, he should pay for what he done
pay
there.
for what he did. That's awful.
A cold case file was solved in Atlanta, Georgia. A child was killed in 1988, and DNA testing has found somebody that is in prison for another thing, and they have got him. That is a good ending to that a family will finally know what happened.
Right.
Horrible that it did happen, but after so many years, the case has been closed. That is the good news out of that. Let's see what else is happening across here. Me and you talked about this together off air yesterday after this was over. Have y'all seen that swim coach, the Australian guy? The man didn't do anything wrong. He was just cheering his team on.
Right. How football players, they'll what they call them, celebrate on the field when
where they
make
bump each
something,
other.
or they might make some movements that might not be real. Some of them might be a little bug, or somebody might say, I don't know. Who
Right.
knows? But anyway, I didn't see that. Really anything majorly wrong with this. The guy just got
shook a
overly
railing,
excited.
and he was like, he was on top of the world there.
Yeah, he was.
But
He was excited, but he was,
nationally, they tearing him to pieces there.
Yeah, they said he was. What did they say? Masculinity. What did they say about the masculinity?
Yeah, they worded it some
extreme masculinity. He was.
I don't see a problem with being a.
How can you be too masculine
That's a good question.
or too feminine?
Are they going to get rid of?
If you're a man and if you're a woman, how can you be too masculine if you're a man? Too
Remember
feminine
the
if you're a woman?
brownie paper towel guy, the masculine? He'll probably have to go away. We can't be having that across America there. So those are some headlines
They'll
there.
probably put him a plaid bow in his hair. Or something. Yeah, paint his fingernails.
Let's see here. Texas is stepping up to the plate. Have y'all seen this? Where he is authorizing the National Guard to make arrests at the border.
I did see that.
So thumbs up to Texas for.
Yeah.
If the federal government is not going to back them, they're going to do it their own way in Texas.
Because they're releasing. It says the border agents are releasing infected migrants to hotels, and that's crazy to me.
Right.
If but yet people within this country, we're getting like raked over the coals. About where you can't do this, you can't go here, and we're just letting them in the flood, like it's the floodgate open, just letting people in. And who knows? They might have like some other kind of issues that you can't just mask. It could be a skin disease, it could be anything. And that's anywhere. We need to take precautions more. I mean.
Okay, Bill made me laugh with his comment that he posted a moment ago. He said he was very masculine in celebrating the Cubs winning the World Series back in 2016. You go, boy. Oh, that is funny there. As we turn to the Lauderdale County Farm Supply, the doors are open this morning, and they have just about anything that you may be looking for your dogs, your pets, and flies this year. If you need something to deter those little critters across there, from overalls to, a T-shirt. If you're looking for boots, work boots, they've got that, including any pine straw that you might need. Now, if you're going to be outside working, make sure you got yourself a good pair of gloves. If you need nails, you can see that in the background there. As we get into all the different tools that you may need, from shovels, and sometimes you forget, I need a shovel, where do I go? Well, they've got it for you there at the co-op. Any type that you may need, from scraping up, inside a horse stall to just a regular shovel there.
Right.
They can also take care of rakes or any of that. And if you need a sledgehammer or a handle that you've broken.
I know. I'm bad about the tools that you work with, breaking the handle. They get loose, and I just keep using them.
This is the most hated work tool right there that you will bump into. That is called a post hole digger.
Oh, yeah.
But they got them for you if you want it.
That's
it is WORK involved with that piece of tool.
Move your feet out of the way.
Yes.
You'll be going to the ER.
As we mentioned there, pet supplies there. They've got all of this that you may need, from diet, dog food, for anything to just a bone or a cup. They've got it. Insecticides, fertilizers, to taking care of all your coolers. And I did mention those boots there. They've got those also. Feed, seed, and a whole lot more, including guns and ammo. Where? The Lauderdale County Farm Supply, exit 151, just off I-20. See them today.
I'm Richard Schwartz. If you've been in an auto accident, don't hesitate to call for legal help. Remember, the first 10 days following an accident are crucial. I am Richard Schwartz, and I'm here to help you.
Call Richard Schwartz today.
And welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace. Another thing that we talk about a lot is this group here is the Precast Group. Planning when it comes to bad weather. Storm shelters is what they do at the Precast Group. Hence the name. They cast everything and build it right here in the Meridian area. If you're looking for one, call them, 482-0003. You can drive out. They'll show you around. Let you look at this. They'll show you how sturdy this stuff is. Steel doors, nothing is going through that. They've built them. They've tested them. This entire thing, it'll still be there. You've seen the videos. Google this. You'll see it to where that's all that's left of a home. And if you want that security, this is the people to talk to. We're going to get another round of this bad weather before the year is out, because tornado season moves back into the south when it comes late November. Right along in there, we'll get another round of this. Be prepared when it comes.
Right. If you
Don't waste.
They'll keep you safe and give you peace of mind.
Yeah. Second set of this, you can bury them in the ground. This is the different styles. They have two different ones to choose from there. Talk to them. Let them help you pick out what you would best suit you and your family. the space and all. See them, the Precast Group here in Meridian, for all your needs when it comes to a shelter. They'll help you. 482-0003. Coming up on top of the hour, we did get started 2 to 3 minutes late this morning, and I apologize for that. Just a slow process there of getting there.
We're just glad we got it working.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to investigate so I'll know next time what happened.
Look, we thought we were going to have to do like a FaceTime Live.
Yeah.
Like from the phone.
It come close to that.
Yeah.
Let's see, they're wearing masks at the White House is another headline this week. Anything that you do that the administration handles, it's mask time. Is Washington mask back up? I'm seeing it. If the stores are next is what I see to where they're going to require that.
Yeah, I try to watch the door when I go walking in to see what it says because you never know, And
I'm the world's worst at forgetting about that thing because you're in your house and you jump your car and then you walk up and go, oops.
Yeah. I got in a store yesterday. I took Alden to get shoes yesterday at the mall, and I walked in and everybody was in mask and we didn't have ours on, and I was like, were we supposed to put our mask on? So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if some people are already requiring it or.
Now, here's a headline that I don't agree with, because if you feel the urge that you want to wear a mask, that is up to you.
Right.
I don't like wearing them. I'm not going to lie to y'all. But if you want to, that's your business. A pastor in Tennessee, and he's a fire breather, they say, is banning any churchgoer that shows up with a mask to his congregation. He's not going to let you in. I don't get that. I really
crazy.
don't.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
As you go to Pastor Greg Locke is his name of the Global Vision Baptist.
I've watched him on some little videos before. I wonder why that is.
He's against it.
I tell you what I'm tired of. I'm tired of people bashing people because they hadn't got the vaccine or they have got the vaccine. I'm so tired of that mess. I'm like, and now that they've come out and said, that you can get it or give it, even if you have the vaccine, maybe people will kind of let off of that. I don't know.
We thank y'all. We've got to run. Our time is out, and we'll be back tomorrow morning on time. We're sorry about the delay this morning. Thanks a bunch, and we'll see you soon.
Scotty Ray's Weather is brought to you by